Well, hello, my incredible sheroes and heroes. This is Jamie McKinney here to share with you a very compelling, exciting, inspirational story about what it means to craft your power statement. And after the story, you will be invited to create your power statement. And I'll share the details of what that will entail here in a minute and kick off with this story for you. I credit Trevor Moab with this story. Trevor is a mental conditioning expert. He works with top athletes and executives, and he shared a story that I will repeat for you here. So there was a young man in high school, and this young man was not known for being a particularly good student. Didn't get good grades, wasn't really motivated, didn't show up to class a whole lot. Well, in his junior year of high school, he took the SAT. And a few weeks later, he gets his score in the mail. As he opens up the letter, he's not expecting much. And the numbers that look back at him come as a great surprise to him. It's not just 3 digits that are looking back at him, but 4. He had scored an 80 on the SAT, a 1480 out of 1600. His eyes bugged out of his head, his mouth dropped open, and he ran to his mom with the letter, shaking it in the air. And he said, Mom, check it out. I got my, believe this. Well, the mom took a look at the letter. She looked back at her son. She looked at the letter. She skeptically looked at her son, and she asked him a very pointed question. What do you think she asked him? She said, son, did you cheat? Because both of them were pretty surprised by these results. And he shook his head no and said, Mom, I didn't cheat. Mom, I scored a 1480. I am smart. I am smart. Well, senior year starts a few months later, and this young man shows up as a 1480 student. And how does a 1480 student show up that maybe not a great student wouldn't? Well, for one, in the context clues here, he shows up, right? He goes to class, he studies, he asks questions, he meets with his teachers outside of class, he chooses his after-school activities wisely. Well, he goes on to have a successful year, graduates from high school, and then begins at a community college. A few years into that, he transfers over to an Ivy League school and goes on to become a successful magazine entrepreneur. Well, it's years later. And this young man, having been in the business world now for a while, very comfortable and confident in his career, he unexpectedly receives another letter in the mail from the SAT board. Apparently, the SAT board does periodic audits of previous test scores. And they discovered that in the year this young man took the SAT, 12 scores were delivered inaccurately to the test takers. The score that this young man had received was not his correct score. Whereas he had thought this whole time that he scored a 1480, what he then learned that he actually scored was a 740. A 740, half of what he thought he had scored. And it's now all these years later that he's just discovering this. I'm guessing you're already leaning in to the moral of this story and why I'm sharing it with you, in that in the moment that he opened up that letter and he saw that score staring back at him, the 1480, which he did not expect, there was nothing in that moment that changed about his IQ. But what did change was the story that he was telling himself. What did change was his belief system that in an instant shifted from I'm not a good student to I am smart. And his belief system shifted to I am smart, so too did the actions to prove it follow. That, my friends, is a power statement. And I now will segue to inviting you to craft your very own power statement, because your belief system sets forth the day, the month, the year, the action that you will take, and the success that you will achieve ahead. And guess who gets to decide what that power statement is? That is you. So your power statement starts off with the most powerful word in our language. The most powerful word, because whatever you put after this word, that determines your identity. That defines you. That powerful word, my friends, is I. I, and then fill in the blank. That is your power statement. So I invite you right now to think about yourself on your best and your most empowered day, or maybe it's the future self that you envision. How would you fill in the blank behind I? Our words create our reality. Our words are our wants. And the more intentional and proactive you are with them, the more you're setting yourself up for success. You are declaring who you are before competing forces on a daily basis attempt to talk you out of it. So what do you want your power statement to be today? Your I or your I am statement, which describes you, like I said, on your best day, your highest self, the person who you know you are before distractions or disruptions or negative news or other things get in the way. So let me share with you some I statements, some power statements that several of the men and women who have heard this story have put together, have gone before you. Let me share these with you. And maybe one of these will inspire you and you'd like to borrow it, or maybe you want to create your own. Either way works. But here we go. I am capable. I do hard things. I am a decision-making machine. I am patient. I matter. I use my voice. I respect my boundaries. I am confident. I trust myself. I am a warrior. I bring boss energy. It's one of my personal favorites. I speak up. I am bold. I lead with courage. I am brave. I have purpose. I am calm under pressure. I ask for what I want, and I am enough. Which of those speaks to you? And yes, you may have more than one. For today's purposes, I invite you to pick the one that sticks out to you the most and sets your trajectory. You can add on others if you would like, but go big with this. Challenge yourself. When you do, when you commit to these words, you create space for the actions to follow. And that's a really important point here. You create space for the actions to follow when you determine, you set your power statement. And would you like to know how you know just how impactful and important this is? Well, imagine for a second the exact opposite. That instead of waking up and saying, I am capable, I am unstoppable, I am confident, you're saying the exact opposite, which I'll just share a few of those here. Maybe you're waking up and you're saying, oh, I'm not capable, I'm not confident, I don't matter. I think of those types of statements, I call those a self-doubt story, similarly to taking a shower in dirty water. Can you imagine starting off your day taking a shower with dirty, icky water and carrying around that filth and that extra weight all day? You wouldn't be able to perform at your highest and best self. So instead, let's flip your narrative. Let's turn the scenario around to what is in fact true, that you start off your day with a clean shower. And just like you do with clean water, start off with these clean words. I am smart. I am prepared. I believe in myself. I am courageous. I matter. And that is your power statement. So now it's your turn. What is it? What statement would you like to declare that you will set forth as your power statement for today, for tomorrow, to really solidify this, to really let it imprint in your brain and create the actions, drive the actions that follow? I invite you to do several things. First, set an alarm in your phone. So shortly after the alarm that wakes you up goes off, set another one with the words that you chose here today. Also, put it on a Post-it note. Make it visible. Hang it on your medicine cabinet by your toothbrush. Hang another one by the wall near your laptop. Make it visible. Look at it early. Look at it often. Choose your thoughts wisely. And I dare you to not have the actions that come along and prove it to yourself. So there you go, my friends. That's the lesson on your power statement. Enjoy. And I would love to hear what you selected for your power statement, how you're already feeling it have impact. Have an empowered day.